In this segment, we're going to cover loading and unloading the guns off the tables and also vertically. And we're going to start with the 97. There's a couple different ways that you can stage this gun flat on the table. It depends whether you're a right-hand loader or a left-hand loader. Myself being a right-hand loader, I'll always want to stage this port down. And the reason I want to do that, because when I pick that gun up, the gun comes up with the port right here on the right side where I can go in and load. If I stage that gun this way, of course, if I just naturally pick that gun up, as you can see, it'll come up upside down. So the best way to stage this is flat down. And another reason I like that is if I happen to be shooting a rifle here or something other like that, there's no chance for brass to go into my port. If brass goes into your port, it can cause a real problem. So anytime it's on the table, there again, I always put the trigger guard at the back of the table, SAS legal. And when you pick this gun up, you want to make sure you pick it up on the frame and on the forearm. And that way, when you pick that gun up, it won't close on you. You got it locked. So if I picked it up out here and I happen to come up and just let it move a little bit, you can see the flag comes up, the boat goes forward. And the first thing I got to do, I got shells in my hand. I'm having to open it back up. So grab it, I use 2 fingers on the forearm and 2 on the frame. Now I got the gun locked. I can come right in with my shells and it works really well. Now when I'm putting that gun back away, it's the same principle as what we did in the rifle. After I'm done shooting, if I'm going to the right, I'll open that gun, I come back to here and just lay it down and go. If I'm moving to the right, I'll fire the shot and then just simply with my right hand, usually use my forearm to help control the gun, lay it down and go. Now if you're over a top shooter, of course you need your port up, because when you pick that gun up, you want that port right here where you can put your shell into it. So if I'm shooting a rifle from back over here, it's not a big deal. I'll always have that port up where I can already have the shells out, come into it and drop the shell and shoot. Now what if you're shooting a 73 from right here, which throws the brass up and it comes down? If you're worried about a piece going in there, what you need to do is go ahead and turn it over just like I do on the right hand, but let it come back just a little bit to where you can expose the bolt. So that way when you pick the gun up, all you do is bring your hand up underneath and put your thumb on the bolt. That'll keep it from going closed on you. Now you can roll it over with your shells and come in and shoot. It's a fairly fast operation. You can just come in and shoot like that. So, and putting the gun down, of course, same principle as right hand, doesn't matter. Down this way, if you're going this way, like this, you're heading that way. So that's off the table on a 97. Let's talk about the double barrels off the table. There again, it's going to depend if you're a left or right hand loader and how you like to load this gun. If you're a left hand loader, I'm moving from left to right or even right to left, what I want is the back of the trigger guard on the table with the grip exposed right here. That way, as I come into the gun, you can already have your shells. You simply grab the gun at the grip, bring it up into your shoulder, shells in, and fire. Now if I'm a right-hand loader, and I prefer right-hand loading, you need the gun turned opposite. And with the same principle as the 97, you don't want to grab the gun out here and pick it up and have a chance of it just going closed on you. So it's better to pick it up at the joint, right in here. Just reach down and grab it like this to where you have control of it. Then you can naturally just slide your hand up. What you do on it, same principle. You come in, you have your shells. You come in, you grab it right here to where it balances. It won't go closed on you. Drop your shells in, up, and fire. Now once you fire the shotgun, and you're going to have another gun after it, after you fire, you got to break it open. You want to be careful not to just set it down and let it go closed. So you have to be a little bit more careful with the double barrel. Once you fire it, bring your hand back here to where it's back into the joint again. Then you can just come down and set it and go. Right hand, all you need to be careful about, if I'm going to the left, I fire the gun. What you want to be careful of, just keep it, you see, just keep the weight and just kind of drag it in and go. The biggest problem with a double barrel after you fire it and you've got to go to the next gun is just that. Is a gun going closed on you, and you got to stop and reopen it, because all shotguns got to be left open and empty when you leave. So working off the table, that's the two most important things to do as far as with the 97 and the double. Let's move on to shotguns off the ground. Again, we'll start with the 97. There again, as a right-hand loader, same as the table, I'll have it sitting here in this same, face the same direction, and I'll pick the gun up the same way. What we want to do is come right down here and grab it at the fore end and the frame and pick it up the same way, because if you grab it a little high, what's going to happen? It's going to close on you, and the first thing you're going to have to do is reopen it before you can load it. So it's really important as you're coming into the gun, be looking at that spot so you can grab that gun, already have your shells in your hand if you're moving to it, and come up and fire. Now putting the gun away, as soon as I fire that gun, it's coming back. Now I want to bring my hand in front of the fore end. If I leave it here, there's a chance it'll close as it goes down. So after I fire that gun, I'll come up like this, and I'll just reach out here and grab the gun so it won't go close on me, and just stick it as you're moving. So keep yourself moving. The whole important thing is to put it here and go. You don't want to sit here, shoot, put it down, and then go. You're wasting time. Now, if I'm coming in from the right side, it's the same principle. It's a good thing. You can come up short with your foot and reach out and grab it if you don't have much to go around, but it's better if you're coming into it, if you're moving on down the stage, is to go ahead and just step around it, grab the gun, have your shells ready, same thing. Now, as I go that way, it's the same principle. Go back, shift up here, grab, put it down, stick it. You don't want to just kind of lightly and let it go back. Go ahead and stick that gun in and go. Now for over-the-top shooters. They like to have their gun turned this direction for the same reason they do off the table. If it's on the table, they like it the same way. What they'll do is come down normally, won't grab it all the way down here because there's a chance it can still go close on you if the gun's loose. Take that thumb, come right in behind right here and put your thumb on the bolt like this. And that way, that gun's good and locked. Have your shells ready. You just come up, grab it, in, and fire. Putting the gun away, same thing as if you're a right-hand loader. Now, if you're moving from the right to the left, you'll just need to come around, step around the gun, and you can reach right down the same way, up and in. So that's the basic way to take care of a 97 off the ground. Let's move on to a double barrel. They can be just a little bit more complicated. In years past, the 97 was a more popular gun because most of our guns in stages were staged this way and set off the table. Nowadays, most of your shotguns are always off the table. So that's why the double barrels had a resurgence in the sport, is because we're not having to stage them this way. A little bit more difficult. Now, if I'm a left-hand or a right-hand loader, most cases this is how the gun's going to be staged. Occasionally there'll be some props where you can do this. In this case, you can do that. The one thing you got to be careful about, if you reach down here and grab that gun, it can come up closed on you, so you have to be careful about that. So if you do load it that way, you'll have to take it and drag it to keep it from going closed. If you have one of these into a wall, well, there's no way to do that if it's on the side of a prop or something. So you're not going to be able to do that. The only way you're going to be able to stage it this way if it's an open area like this is. So in most cases, you're going to end up having to stage the shotgun this way, whether you're a right or a left-hand loader. And in this situation, I actually like the right-hand load a little better than the left-hand load because I don't have to reach as far for the gun. Let's start with the right-hand load. If I'm a right-hand loader and I'm coming in from this direction, I'll come down and I'll actually grab the gun up in here and turn it up like this, and then just shift the gun as I'm loading. Now you can go all the way down. If you're not comfortable with that, you can go down to where it breaks right here and pick it up this way and load. But in my case, I'll just bring the gun in, I'll just pick it up. Oops, there you go. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I'll come in and I'll grab the gun here and roll it up and just shift it like this. This gun is extremely loose. Need to do a little work on it. Now, if I'm a left-hand loader, what I'm going to need to do is come all the way down to the grip in here, because I've got the shells in my left hand. Now I got to reach a lot further than if I'm a right-hand loader. So you're having to squat lower, and you need to roll the gun out and up. There again, you don't want to be careful about just picking the gun up. It'll go closed on you. So you'll need to come into it and drag the gun up and roll it up, bring it in your shoulder, and then load. If I'm coming from this direction, it's a lot the same principle. If I'm going to be a right-hand loader, I'll come in and I can grab it right here and roll it up and shoot. And actually, it's a little easier for me moving this direction because my left hand's in position to grab it. If I'm a right-hand loader, it's a little more difficult. You need to roll that gun back at you this way. You come in and you roll it up this way. Instead of, if you try to roll it to you, it's awkward because now it's hard to bring that gun up and over and roll it and try to shift your hand. You want to get your hand to where you don't have to move it. It'll roll into your hand. So if I come in and I roll it up this way, it's harder, you're getting into everything. So it's easier to roll it out here, and it rolls right up into the grip. Now, putting the gun away, that's another problem with a double barrel. After you fire the gun, you need to open it, shuck the shells, and just let that butt hit the ground, and you drag it in and let it go. If it's going this other direction, you fire, let it hit the ground, shift hands, and go this way. That's the safest way to put one up. If you don't let it hit the ground first, as you set it in, it can go closed on you. So that's working the double off the ground. Hope you enjoyed that.